Steam is packed with some seriously good co-op deals right now. There are zombie shooters, chaotic party games, co-op adventures, and even some games where working together is the only way to survive. And with discounts reaching up to 95% off, there are some really good games to pick up with your friends. We're starting with Zombie Army 4 Dead War, which is currently 95% off. If you and your friends enjoy shooting zombies together, this is one of those games that's almost impossible not to have fun with. You and up to 3 other players can team up and fight your way through a ridiculous zombie apocalypse filled with thousands of undead enemies. The game is all about teamwork. You'll move through ruined cities, abandoned streets, dark forests, and other dangerous locations while trying to survive huge waves of zombies. And there are some seriously satisfying weapons to use. You can take out enemies from a distance, set up traps, upgrade your gear, and work together to deal with massive groups of zombies. The best part is that the game doesn't take itself too seriously. You're basically running around Europe during a supernatural zombie apocalypse, blowing apart hordes of undead with your friends. There are also special enemies and huge bosses that can make things much more difficult, especially when you're playing on higher difficulties. So if your group wants a straightforward co-op shooter where you can just jump in, grab some weapons, and destroy thousands of zombies together, Zombie Army 4 Dead War is an incredible deal at 95% off. Moving on, Zombie Army Trilogy, which is currently 90% off, and if you and your friends enjoy zombie shooters, this is definitely worth checking out. The game takes you into an alternate version of World War II where Hitler's army has been turned into an army of the undead. Your job is simple: survive, shoot zombies, and somehow make it through the nightmare. You can play the entire campaign with your friends, and that's where the game becomes much more fun. You'll fight through ruined towns, dark forests, abandoned buildings, and huge hordes of zombies together. The game also has some really satisfying weapons. Sniper rifles let you take out enemies from a distance, while explosives and other weapons are perfect when hundreds of zombies start coming at you at once. And then there are the special enemies. Some zombies have heavy armor, some carry powerful weapons, and others can make your life much harder if you don't deal with them quickly. There's also a slow motion X-ray system that shows exactly what happens when your bullet hits an enemy. Seeing a perfectly placed shot tear through a zombie never really gets old. If you want an old school co-op shooter where you and your friends can spend hours destroying massive zombie hordes, Zombie Army Trilogy is a fantastic deal at 90% off. And next, SOS Ops is currently 90% off, and if you want something much more chaotic to play with your friends, this one is worth checking out. The whole game is built around working together to complete different missions and deal with ridiculous situations. You and your friends have to communicate, move through different environments, and figure out how to complete your objectives without everything falling apart. And honestly, that's where the fun comes from. Things can go wrong very quickly. One player can make a mistake, someone can get stuck, and suddenly the entire team is trying to fix a problem that shouldn't even exist. It's simple to pick up, but the unpredictable situations make every session feel different. So if you're looking for a cheap co-op game that's more about having fun with your friends than taking everything seriously, SOS Ops is a great choice at 90% off. Moving on, Golf with Your Friends is currently 90% off, and if you want something more relaxed to play with your friends, this is a great choice. It looks like a simple mini golf game, but the courses are full of crazy obstacles, moving platforms, jumps, and all kinds of ridiculous ways to ruin a perfect shot. And that's what makes it so much fun with a group. You can be winning the entire game, then make one terrible shot, and suddenly find yourself at the bottom of the leaderboard. There are also plenty of different courses to play, so you can keep coming back without feeling like you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's incredibly easy to pick up, which makes it perfect when you just want to jump into something with your friends without learning complicated mechanics. And at 90% off, Golf with Your Friends is one of those games that's worth having in your library just for those random nights when everyone wants to play something fun and competitive. Up next, The Escapists 2 is currently 80% off, and this is one of those co-op games where having a plan is great, but watching that plan completely fall apart is even better. You and your friends are prisoners, and your goal is to escape, but you can't just walk out of the front door. You have to learn the prison's routine, collect useful items, craft tools, distract guards, and figure out how to get past all the security. And when you're playing with friends, everyone can have a different job. One player can look for materials, another can create tools, while someone else causes a distraction. You can actually plan an entire escape together. Of course, things don't always go according to plan. One wrong move can trigger an alarm, and suddenly the entire prison is looking for you. That's what makes The Escapists 2 so much fun in co-op. Even a simple escape attempt can turn into complete chaos, and usually the funniest moments happen when everything goes wrong. If you enjoy games where you have to plan, improvise, and work together, The Escapists 2 is definitely worth picking picking up at 80% off. And next, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is currently 75% off. And if you grew up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is a really fun game to play with friends. You can play as Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, or Michelangelo, and each turtle has their own abilities and combat style. The game mixes fast action with rogue-like elements. You'll fight through different areas, collect upgrades, unlock new abilities, and become stronger with every run. And the co-op makes a big difference. You and your friends can pick different turtles and combine your abilities during fights. One player can focus on dealing damage, while another helps control groups of enemies or supports the team. Every run can also play out differently, so there's always a reason to try again after you get defeated. The game has that classic TMNT personality too. The characters, animations, and humor make it feel like you're actually playing through a cartoon with your friends. If you're looking for a colorful action game that's easy to jump into but still gives you plenty of reasons to keep playing, Splintered Fate is a great choice at 75% off. Moving on, World War Z is currently 75% off, and if you want a co-op game where you and your friends can fight through absolutely massive zombie hordes, this is a great choice. The game is inspired by the World War Z movie, but instead of following one single story, you travel across different locations around the world and try to survive the outbreak. And when I say massive zombie hordes, I mean massive. You can have hundreds of zombies rushing toward you at the same time. They'll climb over each other, break through barriers, and completely overwhelm your team if you're not prepared. That's where teamwork becomes really important. You can choose different classes, build your character around different abilities, and work together to hold your position. One player can focus on heavy weapons, another can support the team, while someone else deals with enemies from a distance. And when the entire horde starts climbing over a wall toward you, having 4 players working together makes a huge difference. There are also plenty of different locations and missions to explore, so you won't just be fighting in the same place over and over again. If you and your friends enjoy intense zombie shooters with huge enemy hordes, World War Z is definitely worth checking out at 75% off. And next, Lost Lullabies. The Orphanage Chronicles is currently 65% off, and if you and your friends enjoy creepy co-op horror games, this one is definitely worth a look. You and your friends explore an abandoned orphanage where something clearly went very wrong. The building is dark, creepy, and full of secrets. You'll have to explore different rooms, search for clues, solve puzzles, and figure out what happened to the children who once lived there. But you won't be doing it alone. The co-op is a big part of the experience. You and your friends have to communicate and explore the orphanage together because some puzzles require you to work as a team, and of course there's something else inside the building with you. The atmosphere is what makes this game interesting. You're walking through dark corridors, hearing strange noises, and never really knowing what might be waiting around the next corner. If your group enjoys slower paced horror, where you can explore, solve puzzles, and get scared together, Lost Lullabies, The Orphanage Chronicles is worth checking out at 65% off.